All right, we've got a super hot question here today. This one's from Thomas Bott, and he wants to know, is there one way of training that is best and works for everyone, true or false? So this answer could go both ways, and this is a really good question. So I'm going to say true, because there's just simply laws of physics, laws of biomechanics that apply to every single body, every single person. Now, this can be false because each person is going to respond to these laws slightly differently. So there's certainly variations, but we always have to start with what we know to be true. And there are certainly substantial amounts of evidence to suggest and to support why lifting certain weights are more effective from a biomechanics standpoint, a hormonal standpoint, from a physics standpoint than other methods. So anybody who tells you that there's lots of different ways to train is correct, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're optimal. It doesn't mean they're going to lead to improvements. It doesn't mean that they're going to be healthy for you. It doesn't mean they're going to help improve you at the rate that you could be improving. So you have to keep that in mind. So we know from mountains of research that there's certain rep schemes that are going to create certain training responses. We know that lower reps are going to generally stimulate the high threshold motor fibers. They're going to stimulate your central nervous system. They're going to make you more functional at recruiting more muscle mass. More muscle fibers, so you become more efficient at recruiting the muscle that you do have. We know that higher reps are going to restrict blood flow to a muscle. They're going to start to recruit more of those low threshold fibers. They're going to help increase muscular endurance. So we know that there are ways to achieve certain goals more effectively. So it all comes back to asking, what is your goal? What is your goal, and what methods have supported that goal most effectively, most efficiently, and most optimally? And then when you know your goal, then you can start actually identifying, for everybody who's wanted to achieve this goal of getting stronger, they've done it this way. But then within all that, information, you'll find slight variations. You'll find guys who respond better to 1 to 2 reps. You'll find people who respond better to 3 or 4 reps, but they're still in the low rep range. So you have to understand there are optimal ways of achieving things, but then when you get within that territory, then there's certainly variances for each individual, and that will be determined by their level of experience, their genetics. It'll be determined by their muscle fiber type, and that's where the training process becomes an art and not just a science. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. People think training is just a science, but I believe it's more of an art, because then once you apply the science, you'll realize that, I applied that, but I'm not getting the same response that the people in that study did, and that's because you now have to take it a step further. All right, so I hope that helps. There's a lot of methods. There are methods that are more, I'm going to say this again, write this down, are more optimal, more efficient, and more effective than other methods. And that's where you need to start. And then once you start with those methods, you make the changes based on how your body's responding. Okay? And this is called the training process, and this supports my philosophy that training is an art and a science. It's not one or the other, it's both. All right, great question, Thomas. I want to know, do you agree? Do you agree that training is an art and a science? Is it just a science? Is it just an art? Is it both? What do you believe? What have you experienced? Share below. Let's get a good conversation going on this topic. And when we get about 200 or so comments, then I'll upload the next video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your feedback. And just one last thing I want to say, it's not easy to produce these videos. It takes a certain amount of time for me to make the posts, go through the questions, do my research, prepare for these videos, get my team here to set up and film all this, and then edit it, then do all the production behind it, then upload them. So I want to know if you're enjoying these videos, and the best way for me to know if you're enjoying these videos is to give them a thumbs up. So if you're enjoying this video, just realize I don't have any way of knowing if you're enjoying it unless you're giving the videos a thumbs up, if you're commenting, if you're sharing them with your friends. So that's a great way for me to know how you guys are receiving this information. And if you're just watching the video and you're not doing anything, you know, I'm going to share this. It's kind of like coming over to my house every single night for dinner and never offering to do the dishes. The first time you come over to my house and you drop in and you don't do anything, that's totally fine. That's what a guest would do. So if you're a guest to my video, this is your first time here, that's totally cool. You don't have to click anything. You don't have to comment. You can watch, be a bystander. But if you're to continually come to my house for dinner and I continually feed you and take your dishes and clean up for you and provide a nice meal, and you never offer to, you know, help out, and at some point that starts to become unfair. It becomes an unhealthy relationship, if you will. So if you've been tuning into my videos for an extensive period of time and you're not clicking the like button, you haven't subscribed, you're not leaving a comment, you're not participating, you're starting to become like that person that comes over for dinner. You're a dinner guest who's not ever offering to do the dishes. All right, so I hope that makes sense, and just a kind of soft nudge to encourage you to keep this a two-way relationship, right? Let's keep this a give-give relationship, not just a give and then you never give back to me. So those are just little ways that you can help me out, and I believe in having healthy relationships, and I think that's a great way to wrap up. So thanks again. You know what to do now. We'll see you in the next video.